Welcome to today's video, coin enthusiasts. In this episode, we're diving deep into the fascinating story behind one of America's most intriguing treasures, a rare and valuable Washington quarter that hides an incredible history beneath its worn surface. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just beginning your numismatic journey, this coin's tale of rarity, beauty, and hidden worth is sure to capture your imagination. So, let's begin this exciting discovery. First up, in the quiet world of American numismatics, few coins stir as much fascination as the 1776 1976 D Washington quarter dollar. Minted at the Denver Mint to commemorate the United States bicentennial, this coin carries a story that is far greater than its face value of 25 cents. To the casual eye, it might look like any ordinary quarter, especially when found in dirty or circulated condition. But to those who understand its history, this coin represents a proud moment in American independence and craftsmanship. It's not just a piece of change. It's a living reminder of America's 200th birthday, a year when the nation paused to reflect on its journey from revolution to modern democracy. For collectors, owning this coin, even in its most worn form, means holding a tangible link to the spirit of 1776. The 1776 1976 Washington quarter was struck during one of the most patriotic times in modern U.S. history, the bicentennial celebration of American independence. The U.S. Mint, in an unprecedented move, decided to redesign the quarter, half-dollar and dollar coin to mark the occasion. The Denver Mint, represented by the small D mint mark just beside Washington's ponytail, played a crucial role in the production of these commemorative quarters. Unlike typical coins that show a single date, this issue bears a dual date, 1776 1976, symbolizing 200 years of freedom and unity. Millions were struck, yet only a small fraction survived in collectible-worthy conditions. While the nation was celebrating with parades, fireworks, and patriotic songs, these coins were quietly making history in the background, destined to circulate through countless hands and decades of American commerce. When it comes to design, the 1776 1976 D Washington quarter stands apart with stunning detail and patriotic flair. On the obverse, the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, remains, his stoic gaze a constant emblem of leadership and resolve. But it's the reverse side that truly captures the essence of the bicentennial celebration. Designed by Jack L.R., the reverse features a colonial drummer boy standing tall, his drumsticks poised mid-beat, symbolizing the call to liberty and the rhythm of a young nation's heart. To his left, a victory torch encircled by 13 stars represents the original colonies. Even in dirty or worn condition, these intricate features often retain remarkable detail, making them a joy to study under proper lighting or magnification. Every line, star, and inscription tells part of America's two-century story. What makes this coin particularly intriguing is its rarity in certain surviving states. Although millions were minted, most circulated heavily and lost their luster through decades of handling. Those that remain in unclean but original dirty condition, especially with visible mint details intact, are increasingly rare. Coins that escape the polishing or harsh cleaning many owners attempted are prized for their originality and authenticity. Among collectors, natural tunning and even wear are viewed as historical evidence rather than flaws. The 1776 1976 D quarter in this natural, untouched condition stands as a witness to the passage of time. Its rarity does not come from a mint error or low mintage, but from its survival as a truly unaltered piece of numismatic history. Collector demand for the 1776 1976 D Washington quarter remains strong, and it continues to be a standout in the Washington quarter series. While it's not part of the wheat penny lineage, it shares a similar cultural role, an everyday coin elevated by history. Its connection to the bicentennial gives it an emotional resonance unmatched by standard circulation issues. Collectors love the blend of patriotic symbolism and historic commemoration. Many numismatists build entire sets of bicentennial coins, and the Denver minted examples are often preferred for their consistent strike and strong detail. Even those in less than perfect condition attract attention because they carry a certain nostalgic charm, reminding people of the parades, coin sets, and pride that filled the United States in 1976. In today's market, the value of a 1,776 1976 D Washington quarter dollar can vary widely depending on its condition, tunning, and originality. A coin in a heavily circulated, dirty state but still showing full design detail can fetch between $650 and $1,200, depending on visual appeal. Those that retain partial luster, without signs of artificial cleaning, may command higher premiums up to $2,000 or more among collectors seeking originality. Exceptionally preserved examples graded by professional services in higher mint state categories, especially MS66 or MS67, can exceed $4,200 in private sales and auctions. It's important to remember that value isn't always about shine. Authenticity and historical character often outweigh superficial beauty. In a market where polished coins lose value, genuine originality is king. For collectors hopping to find one of these treasures, focus on the details that matter most: condition, strike, and authenticity. Avoid coins that have been cleaned or polished, as these can lose both value and historical significance. Instead, look for natural patina, visible details on the drummer boy's uniform, and clear mint marks. If you happen upon one in your old coin jar or inherited collection, handle it gently. Avoid wiping or washing. Consider having it graded if it appears sharp and well struck. These coins occasionally appear in estate collections, antique markets, or even bank rolls from the 1970s that have remained untouched. Persistence and a careful eye are key in the hunt for this historical gem. In conclusion, the 1,776 1976 D Washington quarter dollar is far more than a piece of small change. It's a symbol of America's journey, its spirit of independence, and its enduring legacy of freedom. From the worn edges to the faint gleam of silver-colored alloy beneath decades of dirt, every mark tells a story worth preserving. Whether you are a new collector starting your journey or a seasoned numismatist seeking history in your hands, this coin represents a perfect blend of art, history, and patriotic pride. And as we close this chapter of American coinage, stay tuned, because in our next video, we'll uncover another fascinating piece of U.S. minting history that might just be hiding in your pocket right now. Next up, among the great treasures of modern American coinage, few pieces capture as much intrigue and admiration as the 1965 Washington quarter dollar without mint mark. At first glance, it may appear as a common circulation coin, one that most people have held countless times. Yet beneath its seemingly ordinary appearance lies a chapter of numismatic history that forever changed the fabric of U.S. coin production. Collectors around the world now hunt for this coin, not merely because of its age, but for its pivotal role in the transition from silver to clad coinage. Its scarcity in specific conditions, coupled with fascinating transitional varieties, has made it one of the most desirable quarters of the post-silver era. Today, this coin stands as a symbol of both change and rarity, a bridge between two monetary worlds that continues to command attention and admiration in the collecting community. The year 1965 marked a major turning point in the history of American coinage. The rising price of silver had made it increasingly costly for the U.S. Mint to produce silver quarters, half dollars, and dimes. In response, the government passed the Coinage Act of 1965, which eliminated silver from circulating quarters and replaced it with a copper-nickel-clad composition. During this transition, The mint also removed all mint marks from coins struck between 1965 and 1967 to discourage hoarding. Thus, every 1965 Washington quarter bears no mint mark, even those produced at different facilities. It was a bold and controversial move that reflected the economic pressures of the time. The coin itself became an emblem of change, representing a nation adapting to modern realities while preserving the integrity of its currency system. Visually, the 1965 Washington quarter retained the iconic design created by John Flanagan in 1932, featuring the dignified bust of George Washington on the obverse. His profile, inspired by Jean Antlin Howdon's sculpture, conveys both strength and resolve, a fitting tribute to the nation's first president. The inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date 1965 surround the portrait with stately balance. On the reverse, a bold heraldic eagle rests upon a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath, symbols of readiness for defense and peace through strength. Though the design was familiar, the material composition was radically new. The 1965 quarter weighed 5.67 grams and featured a copper core bonded with nickel cladding, giving it a distinct silver-like sheen without any actual silver content. In high-grade examples, the satin luster and sharp strike details distinguish it from the heavily worn pieces found in pocket change. Despite an enormous initial mintage of over 1.8 billion, true rarities exist among 1965 quarters due to transitional and minting anomalies. A few extraordinary examples were accidentally struck on leftover 90% silver planchets intended for the 1964 quarters, creating one of the most legendary modern mint errors in U.S. coinage. These silver 1965 quarters, although visually similar, can be identified by their lighter weight, 6.25 grams, and the absence of a copper-colored edge. Beyond the rare silver strikes, finding a perfectly preserved 1965 clad quarter in mint state 67 or higher is exceedingly difficult due to the coin's widespread circulation and the mint's production challenges during the changeover. Most coins from that era exhibit weak strikes, nicks, or surface marks from bulk handling, making pristine survivors exceptionally scarce. In today's collector market, the 1965 Washington quarter without mint mark commands impressive values when found in rare conditions or with transitional errors. Circulated examples, while common, carry modest value, but uncirculated specimens certified by PCGS or NGC in grades MS66 and MS67 can fetch between $900 and $1,800, depending on surface quality and luster. The ultra-rare silver planchet errors, however, have reached staggering figures, some selling for $3,800 to $4,700 at major auctions. The strong demand is fueled by both rarity and historical intrigue, as these coins represent a fleeting moment when the mint's transition from silver to clad was still imperfect. Serious collectors prize these quarters not just for their beauty, but for their direct connection to a pivotal event in American monetary history. For those seeking to add a 1965 Washington quarter to their collection, keen observation and authentication are essential. The difference between a common clad example and a valuable transitional error lies in subtle details: weight, edge color, and metallic composition. A genuine silver 1965 quarter will lack the copper edge visible on clad coins and feel slightly heavier in hand. When purchasing, collectors should always seek certified coins from reputable grading services, as counterfeit or altered examples occasionally surface in the market. Proper storage is also critical. Uncirculated quarters should be kept in inert holders to prevent tarnish, and handled only with cotton gloves. Attending coin shows, following reputable auction houses, and networking within numismatic communities are excellent ways to locate high-quality pieces while learning from experienced collectors. What makes this coin truly captivating is its dual identity. It is both a product of economic necessity and a rare artifact of error and transition. The 1965 Washington Quarter tells a story of adaptation during turbulent times, reflecting the tension between tradition and innovation. Its design, though unchanged, gained new meaning as the metal composition evolved, and in this shift, collectors find depth beyond its modest denomination. For many, owning a 1965 quarter in pristine or rare form is like holding a relic of the nation's economic evolution, a physical testament to resilience and transformation. In the world of numismatics, the 1965 Washington quarter dollar without mint mark continues to captivate both seasoned collectors and newcomers alike. Its historical roots, fascinating composition, and the thrill of discovering an ultra-rare variety make it a timeless pursuit for coin enthusiasts. Whether admired for its connection to the end of silver coinage or coveted for its elusive silver strike versions, this coin remains a milestone in American minting history. As collectors continue to explore its mysteries, the 1965 quarter's value, both monetary and historical, shows no sign of fading. And as we close this exploration, prepare to journey into the next chapter of U.S. coinage, where yet another remarkable piece of American history awaits discovery. Next up, among modern-era U.S. coins, few hold the quiet yet commanding presence of the 1966 Washington quarter dollar without mint mark. What may look like an ordinary coin to the casual observer is, in fact, one of the most historically significant and technically fascinating quarters of the 20th century. For collectors, the 1966 issue represents more than just a date on a coin. It symbolizes an era of change, transition, and adaptation in America's monetary history. This coin is sought after not because of gold or silver content, but because of what it represents: the endurance of tradition amid transformation. Its rarity in pristine condition and the presence of elusive varieties make it a prized find among dedicated numismatists. The excitement of uncovering a high-grade 1966 quarter, or a unique minting anomaly, continues to drive its appeal and market demand today. The 1966 Washington quarter emerged during a fascinating and turbulent time in U.S. minting history. The country was still adjusting to the Coinage Act of 1965, which had eliminated silver from the quarter's composition. As the mint transitioned fully to copper-nickel-clad coinage, it temporarily removed all mint marks from coins produced between 1965 and 1967 to prevent hoarding and speculation. Thus, every 1966 quarter, whether struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, carries no mint mark at all. This period marked the United States' firm departure from silver circulation coinage, as rising bullion prices had made silver coins more valuable for their metal content than for their face value. The 1966 quarter, therefore, reflects the modernization of America's economy and coinage system, serving as both a product of necessity and a symbol of resilience during a time of economic transition. The design of the 1966 Washington quarter remained faithful to the classic artistry introduced in 1932 by sculptor John Flanagan. The obverse displays the noble profile of George Washington, framed by the inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date, 1966. Though the design was unchanged, subtle differences in metal composition and striking technique gave the 1966 issue a slightly different appearance compared to its silver predecessors. The reverse features the powerful image of a heraldic eagle perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below, representing America's dual commitment to defense and peace. Struck on a copper-nickel-clad planchet with a copper core, the coin weighs 5.67 grams and measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter. In well-preserved specimens, the contrast between the silvery outer layer and the warm copper edge is visually striking, and collectors often marvel at the crispness of the eagle's feathers or the sharp definition of Washington's hair in uncirculated examples. Rarity in the 1966 Washington quarter does not stem from low mintage. Nearly 821 million were produced, but from condition and unique production anomalies. The mint's emphasis on mass output during this period resulted in coins with softer strikes, weak details, and frequent bag marks. As a result, finding a flawless 1966 quarter with strong strike, clean fields, and full mint luster is exceedingly difficult. Even more remarkable are transitional and experimental varieties occasionally discovered by sharp-eyed collectors. Some rare examples were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets from 1964, making them among the most coveted mint errors in modern numismatics. Others exhibit striking differences in surface texture or planchet composition, hinting at the challenges of refining the new clad metal process. These exceptional variants, often authenticated through precise weight testing and professional grading, are what drive the coin's reputation as a hidden gem in U.S. coinage. When it comes to value, the 1966 Washington quarter commands notable prices in the collector market, particularly for high-grade examples and rare transitional errors. Standard business strike coins in exceptional mint state 66 or 67 condition can sell for $700 to $1,500, largely due to their scarcity in such pristine states. Coins that exhibit proof-like surfaces or remarkable luster can push values even higher. However, the true treasures lie in the transitional silver planchet varieties, ultra-rare pieces that have fetched between $3,200 and $4,600 at major numismatic auctions. These remarkable specimens often make headlines when discovered, especially since they bridge the divide between the last of the silver quarters and the first of the clad coinage. The value of these coins continues to appreciate steadily, driven by their historical significance and limited supply. For collectors eager to identify and acquire the 1966 quarter, attention to detail and authentication are crucial. The most basic step is to inspect the coin's edge. Genuine copper-nickel-clad examples display a visible copper core, while transitional silver errors do not. Weight is another indicator, with clad coins weighing 5.67 grams and silver planchet errors around 6.25 grams. Collectors should prioritize coins certified by trusted grading authorities such as PCGS or NGC, as these offer assurance of authenticity and precise condition grading. Storage is also vital. Keep high-grade coins in airtight holders or slabs to prevent oxidation and surface abrasion. Networking with fellow numismatists, visiting coin shows, and browsing reputable auction platforms are effective strategies for locating premium examples and staying informed on market trends. The enduring appeal of the 1966 Washington quarter lies in its dual nature. It is both ordinary and extraordinary. Millions were struck and circulated, yet only a tiny fraction remain in exceptional preservation or bear the remarkable minting errors that make them numismatic legends. Each coin carries with it the story of a nation adapting to new economic realities, of innovation under pressure, and of craftsmanship evolving with technology. In this sense, the 1966 quarter serves as both a historical artifact and an enduring collectible that connects modern collectors with the challenges faced by the mint during one of its most transformative periods. In conclusion, the 1966 Washington quarter dollar without mint mark stands as a defining piece of post-silver American coinage, an emblem of change, survival, and discovery. Its beauty lies not in precious metal, but in the history it encapsulates and the intrigue it continues to inspire. From its distinctive design to its rare and valuable anomalies, this coin commands respect among those who understand its story. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a curious beginner, the 1966 quarter offers an unforgettable lesson in the art of coin collecting. Sometimes the most valuable treasures are hidden in plain sight. And as our journey through U.S. coinage continues, Prepare to uncover yet another remarkable piece that tells the next chapter of America's minting legacy. Next up, in the vast and fascinating world of U.S. numismatics, the 1967 Washington quarter dollar without mint mark stands as one of the most intriguing and historically significant coins of the modern era. To most, it appears as a simple piece of pocket change, yet to collectors, it represents the final chapter of a remarkable three-year transition in American coinage. The 1967 quarter is a symbol of economic adaptation, technical evolution, and artistic endurance, all wrapped into a coin that has circulated through millions of American hands. Its significance lies not just in rarity, but in the story it tells about the resilience of the U.S. Mint and the changing times of the 1960s. Today, the 1967 quarter is cherished by collectors for its scarcity and high-grade form, its connection to the post-silver coinage era, and the existence of extraordinary error strikes that have made headlines in the numismatic world. The year 1967 was the conclusion of a critical transition period that began with the Coinage Act of 1965, which permanently removed silver from circulating dimes and quarters. This act was born out of a national coin shortage, driven by silver speculation and hoarding that had nearly crippled coin circulation. To prevent further hoarding and speculation, the U.S. Mint decided to remove mint marks from all coins between 1965 and 1967. Thus, the 1967 Washington quarter carries no mint mark, regardless of whether it was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. The absence of the mint mark was meant to ensure the coins were treated purely as instruments of commerce rather than as collectible items, a measure that ironically made them all the more collectible decades later. By the time mint marks returned in 1968, the 1967 quarter had already cemented its role as the coin that bridged America's transition into a new economic and minting era. The 1967 Washington quarter features the classic John Flanagan design first introduced in 1932, honoring the bicentennial of George Washington's birth. The obverse proudly displays the left-facing portrait of Washington, marked by crisp detail and balanced proportion, encircled by the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date 1967. On the reverse, the majestic heraldic eagle stands poised on a bundle of arrows, signifying the nation's readiness for defense, while the olive branches below it represent peace. The coin's metallic composition reflects the modernity of its time, a copper core clad with layers of nickel, giving it a silvery sheen without containing any actual silver. It weighs 5.67 grams and measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter, with a reeded edge that gives it a tactile distinction. In high-grade specimens, the 1967 quarter exhibits sharp strike details, frosty luster, and brilliant surfaces that are particularly striking under proper lighting. Despite a mintage exceeding 1 billion, true rarities exist within the 1967 Washington quarter series. The U.S. Mint was under immense pressure to produce enormous quantities of clad coinage efficiently, leading to widespread inconsistencies in strike quality. Most 1967 quarters were heavily circulated or stored in bulk bags, resulting in abrasions, nicks, and loss of original luster. Consequently, high-grade examples in mint state 67 or higher are exceedingly rare. Even more coveted are special mint set SMS strikes, coins produced with extra care for collectors, exhibiting satin-like finishes and sharper details than regular circulation strikes. A few transitional and experimental errors also exist, including quarters accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets from previous years or with double-die obverses, making them extraordinarily valuable. These rare anomalies highlight the complexities and imperfections of a minting system in flux, and they stand today as hidden treasures for the sharp-eyed collector. Market values for the 1967 Washington quarter vary significantly depending on condition, finish, and rarity. Standard business strike coins in exceptional mint state 67 condition can bring between $850 and $1,700, reflecting their scarcity and strong collector demand. Special mint set examples, particularly those graded SB68 or SB69 by top-tier grading services like PCGS or NGC, can fetch between $2,500 and $3,900, especially if they display exceptional luster or cameo contrast. The true showstoppers, however, are the ultra-rare transitional era coins struck on silver planchets. These elusive specimens have achieved auction prices of $4,200 to $4,800, depending on provenance and strike clarity. The steady upward trajectory of prices over the past decade underscores the coin's enduring appeal and the numismatic market's recognition of its historical and technical significance. For collectors seeking to identify and acquire the 1967 quarter, vigilance and precision are key. One should begin by examining the coin's edge. Regular clad quarters reveal a visible copper stripe along the edge, whereas silver planchet errors will display a uniform silvery tone and a slightly heavier weight, around 6.25 grams instead of 5.67 grams. Special mint set coins, distinguishable by their smooth, satin-like surfaces and absence of bag marks, are another avenue for collectors pursuing premium quality examples. Professional grading and certification are indispensable, as they verify authenticity and protect against counterfeits. Reputable grading services not only preserve the coin in a secure holder, but also provide standardized grading that ensures consistent valuation. Collectors are advised to store their high-grade or rare specimens in climate-controlled conditions, away from humidity and direct light, to maintain their brilliance and prevent tunning. The fascination surrounding the 1967 Washington quarter lies not only in its scarcity, but also in its context within American economic history. It stands as the culmination of a 3-year effort by the U.S. Mint to stabilize coin circulation and restore public confidence in modern coinage. It also represents a blend of artistry and industrial efficiency, a coin produced in massive numbers, yet retaining aesthetic and historical depth. For numismatists, this duality is what makes the 1967 quarter endlessly captivating. It is both a mass-produced artifact of everyday commerce and, in rare instances, a numismatic masterpiece shaped by historical circumstance. In conclusion, the 1967 Washington quarter dollar without mint mark holds a unique place in American coin collecting, embodying the transformation of the nation's coinage system and the resilience of its artistry. Its historical importance, combined with its elusive high-grade examples and stunning mint errors, make it a cornerstone of modern U.S. numismatics. Whether discovered in pristine mint state or as a rare silver transitional strike, this coin carries an undeniable mystique, an echo of a time when America's coins were reinvented for a new economic age. For collectors, it remains both a challenge and a reward, a reminder that even in the most ordinary of coins, extraordinary stories and treasures can be found. And as we move forward in our exploration of America's minting legacy, the next coin in our journey promises yet another tale of rarity, history, and hidden value waiting to be uncovered. Next up, in the vast world of American coinage, few pieces have captured the fascination of collectors quite like the 1970 Washington quarter dollar. Though it may appear as a simple piece of change, this coin holds a special place in numismatic history, especially when found in its original, worn, or dirty condition. While most quarters from this era were minted by the millions and used daily in circulation, a select few possess qualities that make them incredibly desirable to collectors today. The Denver-minted 1970 Washington quarter represents a transitional moment in U.S. coinage, a coin that bridges the classic silver era of the 1960s with the modern copper-nickel-clad series that defines much of today's currency. Its historical significance, paired with unique varieties and die errors, has turned this once common coin into a sought-after collectible, especially for those who appreciate the beauty hidden beneath decades of tarnish. The year 1970 marked a time of great change and transformation within the U.S. Mint and the nation as a whole. The Denver Mint, indicated by the small D mark on the obverse of the coin, played a central role in producing circulation coinage during this period of economic adjustment. Only a few years earlier, in 1965, the U.S. Mint had permanently shifted away from 90% silver coinage, moving toward copper-nickel-clad compositions. This change was driven by rising silver prices and the need for more affordable materials for mass coin production. By 1970, the Mint had fully settled into this new phase, though collectors often note that early 1970s coins retained certain die characteristics and striking qualities reminiscent of earlier designs. The Washington quarter continued to carry the familiar portrait of George Washington, a design first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of his birth, symbolizing continuity amidst change. The design of the 1970 D Washington quarter is a masterpiece of subtle artistry and symbolism. On the obverse, George Washington's profile, sculpted by John Flanagan, stands as a timeless representation of American strength and integrity. His expression, firm yet dignified, reflects the ideals of leadership and unity. Above his head, the word liberty is boldly inscribed, while below rests the date 1970, a marker of an era of transition. On the reverse, the powerful image of a heraldic eagle with outstretched wings dominates the design. Clutched in its talons are arrows, symbolizing readiness to defend, and an olive branch representing peace. The legend United States of America arches above, while EPLURIBUS UNUM, meaning out of many, one, reminds viewers of the nation's unity. Although struck in copper-nickel, the coin retains a bright, metallic luster when clean, but those found in dirty or heavily circulated condition often display fascinating patinas and tunning that tell stories of decades of use. Despite being a common circulation coin, the 1970 D Washington quarter has certain variations and conditions that elevate its rarity. One of the most famous is the 1970 D over struck on a 1941 Canadian quarter, an extraordinary mint error that has sold for several $1,000s at auction. However, even standard Denver-minted quarters from this year, when found in uncirculated or proof-like condition, can command impressive prices due to their limited survival rates in pristine form. The majority of these coins were used extensively in commerce, making high-grade examples increasingly difficult to locate. Interestingly, even coins that appear dirty or aged hold appeal among collectors who value originality. The presence of grime or wear can confirm authenticity and trace a coin journey through history, offering a tangible connection to the era it represents. Collector demand for the 1970 D Washington quarter remains consistently strong, particularly among enthusiasts of the Washington quarter series. Unlike earlier silver quarters, which attract investors for their bullion value, the copper-nickel issues of the 1970s are appreciated for their numismatic qualities and transitional importance. This coin is especially sought after by set collectors who aim to assemble complete year-end mint mark runs from 1932 to the present. The 1970 D serves as a key marker between two eras, the post-silver adjustment and the rise of modern coinage production technology. Its scarcity in mint-state grades, MS65 and higher, and the existence of a few remarkable minting errors make it a standout piece in the Washington series, appealing to both beginner collectors and experienced numismatists. In today's numismatic market, the value of the 1970 D Washington quarter varies significantly depending on its condition, strike quality, and any unique features it may exhibit. Coins in average circulated condition typically hold nominal value, but high-grade uncirculated specimens can range between $650 and $3,800, depending on grading certifications from services like PCGS or NGC. Rare mint error examples, particularly overstrikes or doubled dies, have fetched prices well above this range in specialized auctions. Dirty or naturally toned coins with minimal cleaning tend to hold aesthetic charm for certain collectors who appreciate originality over perfection. As the years pass, the availability of untouched 1970D quarters continues to decline, steadily increasing their market worth and collectible appeal. For collectors seeking to acquire a 1970D Washington quarter, attention to detail is paramount. Start by inspecting the coin's surfaces carefully. Luster, strike sharpness, and clarity of Washington's hair curls can all significantly affect value. Coins certified by reputable grading services offer security and authenticity, especially for higher-end purchases. Collectors should avoid harshly cleaned coins, as this diminishes their appeal and numismatic value. Instead, focus on coins with natural patina, light wear, and no major scratches. Proper storage in airtight holders or acid-free flips will prevent further oxidation and preserve the coin's condition over time. Searching through old rolls, inherited collections, or estate sales can sometimes yield unexpected finds, including rare mint varieties or error strikes. Ultimately, the 1970D Washington quarter dollar represents far more than its face value. It captures the essence of an evolving American economy, the craftsmanship of mid-20th century minting, and the enduring appeal of the nation's most iconic coin series. Even in dirty or circulated condition, each piece carries the story of countless hands and moments in American history. For collectors, it's not just a coin, it's a chapter in the nation's numismatic narrative, bridging the past with the present. And as we close this exploration of the 1970D quarter, stay tuned for our next deep dive, where we'll uncover another fascinating treasure hidden in the pocket change of America's rich coinage legacy.